Success isn't luck, it's spiritual alignment. Florence Scovel Shinn teaches us that there is a secret door to success, and it's opened not by effort alone, but by faith, intuition, and speaking the right words. When you walk in divine guidance and declare abundance, the universe moves for you. Open your mind, clear your doubts, and speak your success into reality. Behind that secret door is the life you've always imagined, waiting for your belief. Florence Scovel Shinn firmly believed that true success is not the result of grinding harder or chasing endlessly, but instead flows from a higher spiritual alignment. According to her teachings, success is divinely orchestrated. It isn't something we chase, but something we attract when we're in harmony with our higher self and universal laws. Many people rely solely on intellect, strategy, and effort to reach their goals, but Shinn teaches that these tools are incomplete without divine direction. She introduces the idea that when you are spiritually attuned, life becomes less about force and more about flow. Divine guidance is the inner compass that leads us toward the right doors, those opportunities we could never have predicted or planned for. These moments often feel like coincidences or luck, but according to Shinn, they are spiritual confirmations that we are on the right path. When you trust that a higher power is guiding you, you begin to notice how things seem to fall into place, whether it's meeting the right person at the right time, hearing the perfect message in a passing conversation, or stumbling across the exact resource you needed. This form of guidance is subtle, but it becomes clearer the more you cultivate spiritual awareness. This idea challenges conventional success narratives that glorify struggle and overexertion. Shinn's wisdom offers a refreshing alternative. Let go of the constant hustle and start listening inward. The secret door to success doesn't open with brute strength. It opens with surrender. It opens when you stop trying to control every detail and instead allow divine timing and guidance to take the lead. That doesn't mean you do nothing. Rather, you do what feels spiritually aligned and inspired, not what feels forced or fear-driven. You follow the signs, not just the steps. To be led by divine guidance, you must cultivate stillness. Prayer, meditation, and quiet reflection are essential practices that allow you to hear the whisper of intuition, the voice of the divine. When you are mentally cluttered or spiritually disconnected, it's easy to miss these subtle nudges. But when you develop the habit of checking in with your inner guidance, you begin to live from a place of divine inspiration rather than desperation. You no longer beg for doors to open. You are calmly led to the right one. Success born from divine guidance often unfolds in unexpected ways. It doesn't always follow a linear path, but it brings peace, clarity, and purpose. You're not just achieving external results, you're evolving spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. This is the kind of success that sustains, that uplifts others, and that feels fulfilling at every level. Florence Scovel Shinn's message is clear. When you walk in partnership with divine intelligence, success becomes not only possible, it becomes inevitable. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that your words are not just sounds, they are spiritual tools with creative power. She believed that every word you speak is like planting a seed in the garden of your life. If you speak of lack, fear, and doubt, you grow more of the same. But when you declare abundance, peace, love, and confidence, your reality begins to shift to reflect those words. This concept is deeply rooted in biblical principles, such as life and death are in the power of the tongue. Shinn taught that words are magnetic and hold energy. They either attract or repel success based on the vibration they carry. People often underestimate the daily impact of their language. Phrases like, "I can't afford that," "Nothing ever works out for me," or "I always get sick this time of year," may seem harmless, but according to Shinn, they're actually affirmations, negative ones. These spoken declarations send messages to the subconscious mind and the universe, which then reflect them back as lived experience. Conversely, when you consistently affirm positive truths like, "I am guided to success," or "Every door I need is opening now," you begin to reprogram both your internal beliefs and the external circumstances that follow. Shinn's most famous affirmations were simple yet powerful. One of her key teachings was, I have a perfect work in a perfect way. I give perfect service for perfect pay. By speaking these words daily, individuals could align their thoughts with divine order, allowing opportunities, solutions, and financial prosperity to flow into their lives. She believed that affirmations were not just psychological tricks, they were spiritual declarations that align the speaker with universal truth. This alignment is what opened the secret door to opportunities that seemed beyond reach or even miraculous. Moreover, Florence warned against careless speech. Casual complaints, sarcasm, or negative jokes may seem insignificant, but they reinforce unhelpful patterns and beliefs. She taught that the subconscious mind doesn't understand humor or exaggeration. It takes all words as commands. Therefore, people must become guardians of their speech, speaking deliberately and choosing words that uplift, empower, and affirm truth. This discipline of speech is not about being artificially positive, but about being spiritually intentional and energetically aligned. In a world filled with noise, negativity, and unconscious language, Shinn's message is more important than ever. She invites us to become co-creators of our lives through the spoken word. Each word spoken with faith and purpose is like turning a key in the secret door to success. The more you speak life, favor, and divine order, the more your life transforms to match that energy. Words, according to Florence Scovel Shinn, are not just communication, they are creation. Speak wisely, speak truthfully, and you will begin to speak your destiny into existence. Florence Scovel Shinn makes it abundantly clear that the most powerful antidote to fear is unwavering faith. In her worldview, fear is not just a feeling. It is a creative force that works against you, just as faith works for you. Where fear builds obstacles, faith dissolves them. She taught that every time we indulge in fear, fear of failure, fear of lack, fear of rejection, we give power to a negative outcome. But when we replace fear with faith, even in the face of uncertainty, we activate unseen forces that begin to move in our favor. Faith, in her teachings, is the invisible bridge to visible success. Faith is not blind hope, it is active spiritual confidence. Shinn explained that faith means knowing, not merely wishing, that the right outcomes are already on their way. It's standing firm in your belief, even when your outer reality looks unchanged. She often reminded her readers that the game of life is a game of boomerangs, meaning whatever energy you send out, faith or fear, will return to you. So when you choose to trust that things are working out behind the scenes, you shift your vibration and begin aligning with higher outcomes. This is how doors begin to open, not through panic or pressure, but through peace and patience. In The Secret Door to Success, Shinn recounts real-life stories where people replaced fear with faith and experienced dramatic turnarounds. Whether it was someone on the brink of financial ruin or facing a serious illness, the moment they released fear and affirmed divine order, things began to change. She emphasized that worry and anxiety are actually prayers for things we don't want. Therefore, staying in a fearful mindset is spiritually counterproductive. Faith, on the other hand, is a sacred agreement with the universe that you trust its timing, its process, and its power. What makes fear so deceptive is that it often feels rational. We fear losing jobs, missing deadlines, being judged, and these fears seem justified. But Shinn urged her readers to understand that logic is not the ultimate authority, spiritual truth is. She taught that when fear knocks, we should answer with affirmations of truth. Saying things like, "Every plan the divine has for me is perfect and cannot be obstructed," or "I walk in faith, not fear," serves to immediately recenter the mind and redirect energy toward solutions. These spoken affirmations become shields that guard us from the emotional and energetic damage fear can cause. Ultimately, Florence Scovel Shinn paints faith as not only a belief system, but as a spiritual muscle. The more we practice it, especially when life is uncertain, the stronger it grows. Faith doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It means you know the outcome is still working in your favor, even when the path is unclear. Every time you choose faith over fear, you take a step closer to the secret door of success. You may not see the full staircase, but with faith, you take the first step, and the universe builds the rest beneath your feet. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that manifestation is not magic, it's the result of inner readiness aligning with divine timing. She taught that you cannot receive what you're not prepared for. You may deeply desire success, abundance, or love, but if your mindset, energy, habits, and surroundings do not match that vision, it cannot materialize. In other words, the universe responds not to your wishes, but to your level of preparation. This is why many people feel stuck. They ask for things they have not yet made room for. Shinn's teachings invite us to become proactive co-creators of our reality by preparing our lives for what we seek. Preparation, in her view, begins in the mind. The first step is cultivating belief, not merely wishing for something, but mentally accepting that it is already yours. This is where affirmations, visualization, and intentional thought come in. If someone desires a successful career, they must begin to think, speak, and even behave as if that success is already unfolding. Florence encouraged people to dress the part, organize their space, and speak with confidence, not because they are pretending, but because they are aligning themselves energetically with the outcome they desire. This mental rehearsal conditions the subconscious mind to accept new possibilities, but preparation is not just mental or emotional, it's also practical. For example, if you are seeking a new job or a business opportunity, ask yourself, have you updated your skills? Is your workspace ready? Have you created time and energy for this new reality to enter? Many people say they want more abundance, but are not managing the resources they already have. Shinn believed the universe responds to structure and order, and that preparation signals faith. By preparing in advance, you're telling the universe, I believe it's coming, and I'm ready to receive it. In The Secret Door to Success, Shinn recounts real-life stories where people replaced fear with faith and experienced dramatic turnarounds. Whether it was someone on the brink of financial ruin or facing a serious illness, the moment they released fear and affirmed divine order, things began to change. She emphasized that worry and anxiety are actually prayers for things we don't want. Therefore, staying in a fearful mindset is spiritually counterproductive. Faith, on the other hand, is a sacred agreement with the universe that you trust its timing, its process, and its power. What makes fear so deceptive is that it often feels rational. We fear losing jobs, missing deadlines, being judged, and these fears seem justified. But Shinn urged her readers to understand that logic is not the ultimate authority, spiritual truth is. She taught that when fear knocks, we should answer with affirmations of truth. Saying things like, every plan the divine has for me is perfect and cannot be obstructed, or I walk in faith, not fear, serves to immediately recenter the mind and redirect energy toward solutions. These spoken affirmations become shields that guard us from the emotional and energetic damage fear can cause. Ultimately, Florence Scovel Shinn paints faith as not only a belief system, but as a spiritual muscle. The more we practice it, especially when life is uncertain, the stronger it grows. Faith doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It means you know the outcome is still working in your favor, even when the path is unclear. Every time you choose faith over fear, you take a step closer to the secret door of success. You may not see the full staircase, but with faith, you take the first step, and the universe builds the rest beneath your feet. This teaching also speaks to the importance of acting as if. Florence often advised her clients to take bold, faith-filled steps even before the full outcome was visible. If someone wanted to be married, she'd suggest preparing their home to welcome a partner. If someone desired wealth, she'd encourage them to act with generosity and gratitude for what they already had. These actions might seem small or symbolic, but spiritually, they are significant. They reflect trust, not desperation. They demonstrate that the person has shifted from waiting in fear to expecting in faith, and that expectation opens doors. Ultimately, Shinn's concept that preparation precedes manifestation is about alignment. It reminds us that the future we desire must find a welcome place in our present life. If our thoughts, words, and actions are chaotic, resistant, or rooted in lack, we unintentionally block the very blessings we seek. But when we prepare our inner world and outer environment for success, even before it shows up, We become a vibrational match to our desires. In that readiness, miracles unfold, and the secret door to success opens without resistance, because we are already walking in the energy of receiving. Florence Scovel Shinn believed that intuition is not just a fleeting feeling or a random guess. It is divine intelligence speaking through you. In The Secret Door to Success, she emphasizes that intuition is the direct communication line between you and the infinite. It doesn't operate through logic, reasoning, or analysis, but rather through quiet knowing and inner direction. Intuition often arrives as a subtle nudge, a spontaneous idea, or a peaceful certainty that defies fear. While many people seek answers from the outside world, books, experts, or opinions, Shinn encourages turning inward to hear the whisper of truth that only intuition can deliver. Florence Scovel Shinn's The Secret Door to Success is far more than a motivational message. It is a spiritual blueprint for a life of alignment, peace, and prosperity. Her timeless teachings remind us that success is not reserved for the lucky few, but available to all who dare to believe, speak with intention, prepare their lives, and trust divine guidance. The secret door is not locked by fate. It is waiting for your faith to turn the key. It is through inner transformation that the outer world responds. Each principle she shares, the power of words, the supremacy of faith, the need for preparation, and the divine whispers of intuition, works together like keys on a spiritual ring. When used with consistency and belief, they unlock opportunities, relationships, and abundance that once seemed out of reach. In a world obsessed with effort, her message gently shifts the focus inward, where the real work begins and where true success is born. The path to success is not hidden from us, it is hidden within us. Florence Scovel Shinn didn't just open the secret door for herself, she left it open for you. All that's left is to walk through it with courage, clarity, and unwavering faith. Ask ChatGPT.